channel. Let's get into it, man. The Ten Commandments. Whoever comes onto this thumb drive and the thumbnail, they're gonna see the picture. Charlton Heston playing Moses. The Ten Commandments movie, man, came out in 1956. It's coming November 8th in New York City. This movie was released. It was also released in 1956 on November 14th. For 220 minutes, the budget was $13 million. Box office was 122.7 million on its initial release in the United States. Paramount Pictures was distributed by them. Production company was Motion Picture Associates. Elmer Bernstein was the music behind the music, edited by Annie Ann Balchins. Cinematography was Loyal Briggs. The cast of this movie was Charlton Heston, who played Moses. Joe Brenner, who played Ramesses Ann Baxter, Edward G. Robinson, Yvonne D. Carlo, Deborah Paget, John Derrick, Cedric Hardwick, Nina Foch, Martha Scott, Judith Anderson, Vincent Price. Cecil B. DeMille directed this movie. He produced it. It was based on Book of Exodus, Prince of Egypt novel in 1949 by Dorothy Clark Wilson. Full of Fire, 1859 novel by J.H. Ingram, and On Eagle's Wings, a novel that was written in 1939, came out in 1939 by A.E. Sultan. Screenplay was written by Aeneas McKenzie, Jesse L. Lasky Jr., Jack Garris, and Frederick M. Frank. So let's get into it, man. The Ten Commandments came out in 1956. It was an American epic biblical adventure drama film that was narrated by Cecil B. DeMille, directed and produced by Cecil B. DeMille, shot in Vista Vision, colored by Technicolor, released by Paramount Pictures. It was based on the Bible's Book of Exodus. It was dramatized the story of Moses, adopted Egyptian prince who became the deliverer of his real brethren, the enslaved Hebrews, and thereafter leads the Exodus to Mount Sinai, where he receives the titular commands from God. The film stars Charlton Heston as the lead role as Moses, Yul Brynner as Ramesses, Ann Baxter as Nefertiti, Edward G. Robinson was Dathan, Yvonne DeCarlo played Sorphora, Deborah Paget as Leah, Joshua played by John Denver, featured Sir Cedric Hardwick as Cynthia One, Nina Foch as Bethia, Martha Scott as Yacobel, Abel, Judith Anderson as Mehmet, and Vincent Price as Backer, among others. Now, this was a remake of a film that was done in 1923 as a silent film of the same title. That was directed and produced by Cecil DeMille. He did the same thing. So he wanted to do a remake for a reason. 4 screenwriters, 3 art directors, 5 costume. The workers worked on the film. In 1954, it was filmed on location in Egypt, Mount Sinai, Sinai Peninsula, featuring one of the largest exterior sets ever produced and created for a motion picture. In 1955, the interior sets were constructed of Paramount's Hollywood sound stages. The original roadshow version included an on-screen introduction by DeMille and was released to cinemas in the United States on November 8th, 1956. The upcoming November 8th will be the 7th anniversary of this movie. At the time of its release, it was the most expensive film ever made. It was Cecil B. DeMille's most successful work. His first widescreen film, his 4th biblical production, his final directorial effort before his death in 1959. In 1957, the film was nominated for 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, the Best Visual Effects. DeMille won the Foreign Language Press Film Critics Circle Award for Best Director. Charlton Heston was nominated for the Golden Globe Award for Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture Drama. Yul Brynner won the National Board of Review Award for Best Actor. Heston, Ann Baxter, and Yvonne DeCarlo won Laurel Awards for Best Dramatic Actor, 5th Best Dramatic Actress, 3rd Best Supporting Actress, respectively. It is also one of the most financially successful films ever made, grossing approximately $122.7 million at the box office during its initial release. It was the most successful film of 1956 and the second highest grossing film of the decade. According to Guinness Book of World Records, in terms of theatrical exhibition, it is the eighth most successful film of all time. And when the box office gross is adjusted for inflation, and then in 1999, the film was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being culturally, historically, aesthetically significant. In 2008, in June, the American Film Institute revealed its top 10, the best 10 films in 10 American film genres. After polling over 1,500 people from the creative community, the film was listed as the 10th best film in the epic genre. The film has aired annually on U.S. network television in prime time during the Passover Easter season since 1973. So that's what it's about. Again, it's all details. You gotta go read the book of Exodus to know about Moses and all that stuff. So I get into all the details about Moses and Ramesses. But the main thing, the Ten Commandments was it was true that God created with two stone tablets. See, and Moses sends the mountain with Joshua. He receives the Ten Commandments created by God in two stone tablets. So anyway, meanwhile, Dathan exposed the people to gain power, claiming that Moses is dead and urging the reluctant Aaron to construct a golden calf idol. A decadent orgy is held by most of the Hebrews. Dathan plans to sacrifice to the calf Leah, Joshua's girlfriend, who was Dathan's slave before Joshua returned. God informs them of the Hebrew sins. Moses and Joshua descend from the mountain, enraged at his own people's betrayal of God. Moses deems the Hebrew unworthy and throws the tablets at the calf, destroying it, sending Dathan and his chorus into the opening earth below. Remaining Hebrews are forced to wander 40 years in the wilderness as punishment for their sins. Moses leads the Hebrews towards Canaan, though he cannot enter himself because he had disobeyed God by the wars of strife, Meribah. Moses goes into the wilderness after charging Joshua to lead the Hebrews, and the film ends with the shot of the Ten Commandment tablets going with fire over the words. So it was written, so it shall be done. So that's it, man. Yeah, this is a remake, a new version of what took place in 1923 with the title Ten Commandments. So it's like a remake that was done in 1923 by Cecil B. DeMille. Obviously, it was a good idea to do it again. 1953, DeMille said his favorite choice was Charlton Heston, the star of his previous film, The Great Show on Earth. He also considered casting a middle-aged man. Kirk Douglas wanted the role as well. Also, DeMille considered Rock Hudson. So there's a lot of people that could have, got the role. It didn't happen. So that's basically it, man. Just a short video of what took place at that time. and get all the details. But that's what was going on, man. And how everything, the filming of the movie from New York City, the mill sailed from Egypt on September 23rd, 1954. And he arrived on October 6th in Cairo to make the greatest production of his life, he says. Greatest production of my life. Met Prime Minister of Egypt, Colonel Gamal Abdel Nasser. He had two meetings with Nasser and Abdel Hakim Amir, Egypt's Minister of War. Nasser and Amir were friends of the Mills. They are fans of his film 1935, The Crusades. The first day of film was on October 14th. He had 20 assistant directors who spoke English and Arabic, directed 8,000 people Exodus sequence. Yul Brynner, on the other hand, was the main part of this film, flew from New York City to film the scene where Ramesses and his chariots leave the city. So the Hollywood footage was shot between August 1955. The special effects. Talk about how Paramount built a huge water tank split by a U-shaped trough, approximately 360,000 gallons of water. The footage of the water pouring over the trough was printed in reverse. The sideways filming of the turbulent backwash of a large waterfall, also built on the Paramount backlot, was used to create the effect of the walls of the parted sea. The shots of the parting and the closing of the Red Sea required a maximum of 12 film negatives that were combined in Paul Lopez optical printers using the split screen, rotoscope, and blue screen techniques. Yep. So before I conclude, Cecil B. DeMille promoted the film A Place in Ten Commandments as a publicity stunt for filming series across the United States. We premiered in New York City on November 8th, 1956. New York City's Criterion Theater. There's pictures of the people that went to the premiere. Charleston Heston, Yul Brynner, Cecil B. DeMille and his daughter went, Ann Baxter, Edward G. Robinson, Yvonne DiCarlo, Bob Morgan, her husband, Martha Scott, her husband Mel Powell, and her son, James Carlton Alsop. And also made his debut in Hollywood on November 14th, 1956. Yeah, it was the highest grossing film in 1956, the second most successful film of the decade. April 1957, the film had earned an unprecedented $10 million from engagement at just 80 theaters, or averaging about $1 million per week, with more than 7 million people paying to watch it, and played for 70 weeks at the Criterion Theater in New York, grossing $2.7 million. Yeah, so the Ten Commandments, man, by the time of its withdrawal from distribution at the end of 1960, the Ten Commandments had overtaken Gone with the Wind at the box office in the North American territory. So Ben-Hur, that was another biblical epic starring Charlton Heston, at least at the end of 1959, would go on to eclipse the Ten Commandments at the box office. It was one of the most popular films ever made. This was a big film, man. Very successful. Very successful. So they had the right people that was fit for the movie, being that kind of movie. That's it, man. And one more thing before I conclude. The Ten Commandments movie was first broadcasted on ABC Network on February 18th, 1973, and has aired only on the network since then, with the exception of 1999, traditionally during the Passover and Easter holidays. This is a very iconic film. All right, so that's it, man. I'm done. Be back at 6:35 with the Top Gun movie with Tom Cruise. That was an iconic film. Be back with that. That's yet to come. I'm done. So be back with Top Gun, man. That's gonna be next. Till then, talk to you at 6:35.